I'm taking the day off from climbing, and I'm gonna go ride my pretty much my most absolute favorite road in all the land, Tuttle Creek Road, which I usually call Turtle Creek so people can't find it on a map. As you can see, I'm in the foothills. We'll call them the Alabama Hills of Mount Whitney, which is hiding right now under those phenomenal clouds. And riding along the aqueduct. There's probably something to do with that scoundrel William F. Mulholland. You can kind of see the line over there. Ironically, my son was working on that with Q&D Construction somewhat recently. I don't think he grasped the true meaning behind that. And I put up a link to a book a few minutes ago on the Carson Valley page. And if you want to learn more about Mulholland's effect on this whole valley, past, present, future. Anyhow, this road is very much a roller coaster through the geological oddity that is the Alabama Hills, where at some point in time there was some level of plate tectonic shift, or what I like to call a geological fart, that caused these granite rocks to bubble up like split pea soup. And I'm going to ride to the top, not that it's any great big climb, and then film the way down so you all can share in the wonder of Turtle Creek. And there's the beautiful Inyos. Man, what a phenomenal day. Last time we were here a couple of weeks ago, my carpet clean buddy, this was all choked in with whatever that fire was over there on the west side. So to get a day like this, quite the treat. No wind today. It was pretty exceptional last night. Anyhow, anybody who ever travels down the corridor to go to LA or coming back from LA should make it a point to drive this little section of road, as I'm convinced there's nowhere else on earth even remotely like it. And you want to do it in both directions as slow as possible. And if I were the mayor in this town, I would make it one way, as people get so easily distracted. I can't imagine this collection of head-ons every year. I found this by by great fortune, on a motorcycle many years ago, and have since done it on probably 10 to 20 different types of motorcycles. And I cheat and do it on quads and side-by-sides and every type of vehicle known to man. It's going to be really fun because this bike allows me to shift up and down with one hand. I can make it easier with this button and harder with this button. Pretty cool. Great for vlogging. Well, there's your aqueduct. Boy, there's not much water moving in there, is there? But that's all the water that's diverted from the Sierra that should be going into Mono and Crowley and Owens and all the little ponds, but instead is going to LA, where, much like Las Vegas, humans really shouldn't be living at those massive numbers. Ooh, look at this sign. Caution, steep, narrow, winding road. Next 3 miles. Trucks and trailers not advised. Huh. We'll see how steep it is, but it's the first time I've actually pedaled it. And here comes my first hill. So I'm going to tuck this phone away in my handlebar purse, and I'll see you at the top. I've stopped here before, but on the bicycle, it's a whole lot easier to stop. But check out the rock or lava formation to this mine shaft opening. Isn't that incredible? Little Jabba the Hutt faces. When it comes to faces, these hills are alive with faces, and they become so well known. If you go to somewhere like the Alabama Hills Cafe, which is the hot spot in town, they have diagrams of all the well-known, I don't know what you want to call them, creatures and formations in here that look like something, which there are many. Ghouls and goblins and Batmans and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, abound in this whole area. But look at the faces on that deal. So, what do we got? Oh, this is, yeah, there's nothing to this one, but look at the colors and the striations in this granite. Isn't that something? You got to wonder how long it took them just to dig this little thing out. Probably many, many months of forced labor to reach essentially nothing, unless it was just a home, which, based on this entry, looks like it had a locking doorway or something at some point. So maybe it was some kind of home to the natives. Had some framework for sure. You can see where the wood once was. But the creek down there and the beauty, you could see why somebody would want to live out here. And I'm sure there's plenty of gold and silver and other minerals in here to be had. All right, I'm gonna keep moving. Well, I thought I was only gonna film in one direction, but the view going up or to the east is just too incredible. Look at this nice guy or person leaving me all this room. Yeah, that's Whitney hiding in those clouds. But I wanted you to see this. As the view back down, there's going to be much different, as you can tell. Fantastic. All right, well, I'm at the top. I was just looking for a Navy Air Force, I believe it is, jet that was buzzing around. They love to come out of China Springs, a little bit to the south of here, and do all kinds of aeronautical testing in this valley. And then over that range is a sailing valley on the Death Valley, and they kind of have free will to do whatever they want, practicing everything from flying at the speed of sound to scaring the bejesus out of tourists out in their Jeeps and side-by-sides. I can't tell how many times I've had them buzz over me, what feels like a step ladder away. And it's quite the thrill. And I'm at the top. We're gonna buzz down slowly, probably put it in slow-mo and stabilizer so you can enjoy the view. You probably want to watch this on a bigger screen if you've never been out here. And I don't know if you can see it off there in the distance. You should be able to see those switchbacks going up. That's Horseshoe Meadows Row, which I'm going to do tomorrow. And the story goes that Walt Disney thought the top of there deserved its own ski resort. So after they cut that road and spent a season or two up there, they realized there wasn't enough snow to warrant the expenditure, and they just turned it into a trailhead to the Golden Trout Wilderness, which goes up and over into, I think, the San Bernardino Mountains eventually, or at least that Central Valley. Don't quote me on that. But any of you seen the Ricky and Lucy or Desi Arnaz production of the, what they call it, the Long trailer or the Big trailer? That classic scene of them going up and over that mountain range, pulling their RV with that big convertible. Was filmed on that, although they did tilt the cameras a little bit. But that climb compared to yesterday's up Onion Valley is an additional 3,000 feet of climbing over another 8 miles up. So I think it's roughly 20 miles up, 20 down. I'll know for sure once I've done it and Strava's taken measurements. But they say it's a little easier than Onion Valley, but definitely longer. And I've been up that enough times to know the views are just as spectacular. All right, so we're gonna head down. Let me do a few things and I'll be right back. Ironically, the one and only property out here belongs to I think he's the sheriff in town, and he is a uncle, I believe, a buddy of mine from Santa Cruz, which I haven't seen in a while. All right, one-handed. Gonna use the rear brake for those of you interested. and go slowly so you can hear my ramblings. I know it's windy, but I'll try and keep it to a minimum. So you can see the Alabamas continue off in the distance there for many square miles, and most of the filming was filmed off in that range where there's more dirt road access. You can do a little Googling to figure out just how many hundreds and hundreds of movies and commercials and sitcoms and everything else was filmed out there. There are a few camping spots available along this road, literally a few. Dirt roads like that, if you ever wanted to come spend the night, make sure you dress warm as the winds get pretty intense out here. But there's far more camp spots available on the other side of the highway, or byway in this case. You see what I mean by it? Should be a one-lane road, one-direction road. I gotta keep my speed down. Thank goodness for these disc brakes. Here's where the fun begins with the roller coaster effect. Say wee along with me. Something else, huh? There's a spot that's maybe 20% like this near my cabin on the big hairpin on 395 above Mona Lake, but nowhere near as big or as tall, we'll say, but the rocks are the same color and wind wear patterns, wind and sand. Oh boy. I hope you all appreciate it. I'm taking my life into my one hand here for your enjoyment. Boy, what I wouldn't do for a low gear on this bike. That guy went by earlier with the same big grin on him. Most people do this road many times to take it all in, myself included. We got a pedal for once. motorcycle coming up behind me. Too fun. And then brakes squealing in protest. Not as much as my right hand is, good gravy. See the valley below coming up. Speaking of Walt Disney, those of you that used to go to Disneyland back in the early days, remember the E-tickets? You were given that ticket, a ABCDE little ticket you pulled out, and all the good rides were E-tickets. You only got so many of those. I think Tuttle Creek Road is definitely an E-ticket. So there's the Owens Valley opening up to us. The Inyo Mountain Range right in front of us. There's been a creek alongside us. You can see they've been utilizing that water, damming it and whatnot. I think I went up that little trail on a dirt bike once, looking to see where it went. I think it just went to a nice overlook. So, as we exit the ride, kindly go to your left and check your car for belongings. Don't forget to get a souvenir for the kids back home. Okie dokie. Well, that's about as much as my right hand can take, so I am shutting you off. And hope you enjoyed that trip. If you ever make it out to the Eastern Sierra, now you know one of the cooler things to do. There she blows.